Hello again. A man called Dr. Zahid Pranjal, in charge of the School of Life Sciences at the University of Sussex, has claimed that examinations taken by British students are unfair because they are timed and answers have to be in grammatically correct English. He says that this is a legacy of British colonialism and makes such tests racist, and that foreigners and immigrants therefore don't do as well at them. It isn't hard to decode the actual agenda here, and we can do it very simply by looking at the results of the large batch of A-level results in this country, which I shall do in a moment. What Dr. Rangel is really doing is this. He's noticed that black students don't do as well either at school or university as white ones and people of East Asian origin, and he's looking for a way to either explain or excuse that. So he's hit upon the idea of decolonisation, which is all the rage these days. You'll often see about this or that organisation or practice which is being decolonised. And this is usually code for rearrange it so that black people can do better at it. In the description to this video, I give a link to the government website which breaks down by ethnicity the percentage of students who get 3 grade A's and above when taking their A-levels. This blows Dr. Pranjal's theory out of the water at once. We read that about 20% of white British students achieved 3 good grades at their A-levels. This is compared with 36% of students of Chinese ancestry and just 12% of black students, that is to say Africans and Caribbeans. We see at once that the percentage of Chinese students gaining those 3 A's or above is 3 times the proportion of black students, and also far higher than the percentage of white British students who can manage it. This suggests at once that what is happening here has little to do with colonialism and the legacy of the British Empire, and everything to do with either inherent ability or social conditions. People of East Asian heritage always do better in examinations than either white people or black. Of course, this situation is seen too in the United States and has resulted in the best universities there, places like Yale and Harvard, attempting to rig their admissions procedures against Chinese students and in favour of African Americans. In Britain, this has not yet happened, although 66% of young people of Chinese origin take up places at university, compared to 41.2% of young black people. Still, perhaps these school conditions are exceptional. Maybe that there's some problem here. What happens when these young people go to university and graduate, do you think? In March 2021, the Office for Students, the government watchdog, whose role is to protect the interests of university students in Britain, issued a statement in which regret was expressed for the attainment gap in the outcomes for those graduating from the nation's universities. The data showed that in the year 2019 to 2020, black students were less likely than white students to gain a first or upper second class degree at 96 of the 97 universities and colleges considered in the analysis. At some, the gap in attainment was more than 20 percentage points. Chris Millward, who was the Director for Fair Access and Participation at the Office for Students, said, "While there is evidence that the gap in attainment for black students compared to their white peers is closing, it remains far too high. At 96 of the 97 higher education providers for which dashboards report ethnicity attainment gaps, black students' attainment is lower than we see for white students." Now, there is something rummy going on about achievement of various ethnic minorities in both further and higher education, but it has nothing at all to do with colonialism. What we're observing is a gradient about which I've spoken many times, where in matters of cognition, academic achievement, intellectual ability, you will always see a gradient with people of East Asian heritage, usually Chinese people at the top of that, people of sub-Saharan African origin, that is to say black people of African and Caribbean heritage at the bottom, and white people in the middle. This is something that we see in America, we see it in Britain, we see it all over the world. It's obviously got nothing at all to do with colonialism. We will need to look a little deeper if we wish to uncover the true explanation for what is going on when we observe this gradient. I'm afraid that decolonising either examinations or curriculum is really the reddest of red herrings. As usual, in the description to this video, I give sources for what I've been talking about.